So if you'd like to come up, feel free to raise your hand, and please come on up. Hi. Hi.
Hi. I'm having a little struggle between being in a place where awareness is infinitely vast and deeply silent, and seeing that the fundamental nature of my mind is to be silent. And at the same time, there's still a separation.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like when I surrender to that silent awareness, it's very blissful and pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
And yet when thoughts come up and I get entangled in that, then I really hate getting entangled in that, and I would rather not do that. And so I struggle between the two, and it just more than
Excuse me.
long ago when my practice was simply going from getting entangled in thoughts to bringing my attention back to my practice.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, why do I still get entangled in thoughts when I could be here?
Right.
And so it's hard not to be frustrated with that, and yet it feels like that frustration is a really useless kind of struggle. And you mentioned earlier about freedom is, I forget exactly what you said, like not rejecting anything.
That's right. That's right. So,
yeah, I just like a little direction.
Sure. Sure. No, thank you for
how
sharing
to approach that.
I just need to get a throat lozenge. I've just been getting over a little something, and excuse me, this may help. I think you made the point very clearly, which is that this thing's all too big, sorry. I need smaller ones for talk. Is it kind of loud? Sorry. Sorry.
We can wait.
Take a while. I should make smaller Ricolas. The key is to bring awareness to wherever there's resistance. And so what you're describing, what I'm hearing is the frustration of this dynamic that's coming up. So not to put attention on the dynamic. See, that's where people usually go, but on what I call the blind spot, which is the fundamental not wanting that.
Yeah.
If you can just step back and be the awareness that can sense that frustration, that's where the intimacy that you're looking for will open up. And there could be something going on here that will also shift and start to open up more. Because people can get very blissful and they can have a lot of spiritual presence, but it isn't necessarily embodied completely. It could be more up here, not so much in the whole, heart chakra and lower areas. So I really want it to be a full-scale embodiment. So frustration it's kind of, it's like that's where the practice is. That's where and obviously it's not easy. It might help to have sitting together like this, not just sitting silently on the cushion or whatever, but to have the mirroring in a way of something that may be held back. I don't know. It's just sometimes when people become very skilled in presence in a way, there can be a cutoff here that can happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It feels like this I, myself, and me keeps getting in the way.
Mm-hmm.
That even my attempt to bring my attention back to awareness is that. Like if I just completely surrender into the awareness, then the I, myself, and me is not so involved.
I'm sorry, I can hear the last thing.
If I completely surrender into awareness, then the I, myself, and me is not so involved.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels more natural and whole.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't escape that either.
Can't escape.
I can't escape the sense of myself wanting to make it right.
Right. Okay. That's the rub. So let's let it just be here. See, and then notice that something doesn't want it to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the conditioned ego is what it is. It wants what it wants. It doesn't want what it doesn't want, and it struggles. It's sort of, its nature is discontent, fundamentally, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's built in for survival. Let's face it. I mean, that's its function, is to survive. So it's going to do that. But if you're being awareness, that the control of it, the identity of it loses its sort of foreground position, if you will. And that's really what I'm really hearing from is you really want awareness to be foreground and let that be background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then I ask myself, probably even that is just the wrong way of looking at it.
Maybe, but ultimately that is what's going to happen. At some point the scales tip. Mm-hmm. And the default setting is awareness. So you give, yeah, I know when, like how many kalpas, right? How many kalpas have we done? No, it's true, and even that sense of when, and that sense of, this is so. I think what's more important is, how can I say this? This is so great that you're bringing this up. So bear with me. I'm just kind of going to riff on it a little bit. Whenever we're saying, how long do I have to go through this? When is it going to make that shift that I have heard is possible, or some people are saying it happened, whatever, right? Maybe what's more important is just to trust that we're not in control of how this works. Mm-hmm. And if we have some awareness, well, let's celebrate it.
Yeah.
And when we're back in the struggle and the suffering, whatever, okay, we're back in the struggle and we're pissed off again. Or whatever. Like, this is not going to sound right, but I'll say it anyway, like, who cares? Mm-hmm. See, that's ultimately really the question. Who cares? Mm-hmm. And that isn't what we are. Right. So we more and more easily return back to the source. Mm-hmm. And eventually, it's just where we are. Mm-hmm. And then the other part sort of plays its little number, more or less, depending on one's conditioning. And it's not it's just not taken personally anymore. See, and I can feel that with you. You've done a lot of practice. I mean, it's beautiful. So I would say, ease up.
Okay.
Give yourself a break. It's happening. You can just kick back, relax, and let it happen. And maybe there is even some, like sadness or it's when you devote your whole life to it, or lifetimes or whatever, there can be deep emotional, like, oh God, I just don't want to be doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But it's happening. It's right here. We're not, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I keep trying to remind myself that it's that awareness that knows that I'm getting caught up in thoughts. So, I mean,
say it again.
I keep telling myself that it's that awareness that knows that I'm caught up in thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's not going away. I mean, it doesn't go away. It doesn't disappear, so. Yeah. Okay.
Well, just be this awareness that you really are, and forgive the part that's caught. Just love it and forgive it and give it gratitude and let it be. Let it be the struggler, the wanter. So even as I say that, I feel your heart opens more, like there's some permission on some deep level that just needs to get wired up. That's what I'm seeing here. That's needed. That's what's needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.